Ray Reynolds here with RaysWebinar.com. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Glad you could join me and we'll have a little bit of fun at the same time. The ultimate goal is to help everybody I can to get to $1 million dream. And I'm talking $1 million, okay? We're not going to talk about this and that and all the good things. We're going to give you the steps, the rules. We're going to give you the tools. The ultimate thing is this. Please get a tab and a pen. Write things down. I watched people for years doing seminars, workshops, boot camps for 43 years, and they always want to take a picture. I need you to understand, it's got to get here. It's got to be in the head. We've got to understand what we're trying to do. Now, in the beginning, as we get started, it's pretty simple. My ultimate goal is to make sure I get you what I call pass go. In other words, I believe people sometimes are stuck. There's a lot of things that happen to us. So let's think about this. The information we're going to be talking about is protected. Okay? The difference is I want you to use it. I don't want you to abuse it, but I want you to get to the dream. So the first thing we got to do is talk about problems. Have you tried a business? Have you tried a dream? Have you tried to go forward? Have you tried to, whatever you're trying to do for yourself? And what happened? A lot of people get in the way. Okay? People say no. The bank could be, whatever. I look at it this way. I always, okay, turn around and plan on the problems. You see, I know something's going to happen wrong and something's going to get in my way. Okay? And that's the bottom line. We have to realize something. We have to have tenacious. We just have to go for it. So I want you to write down two things. First thing I want you to do is write down safety credit. Now, safety credit means one thing. I know a lot of times you hear about money for a rainy day. Safety credit is having $100,000 of credit, personal credit. You can't use it and abuse it, but you got to have your score and maintain it. But the other thing is you can't write anything off about the personal credit cards or the interest rate. But you got to have it. It's kind of frustrating at times. And then the next thing I want you to write down is line of defense. We have to realize every time we get knocked down, we have to get back up. So we have to create a line of defense because we don't want to be the duck. I want you to understand, if you use safety credit, the line of defense, you can see it, believe it, and go get it every time. The ultimate thing is never bringing the pain home. And I'll show you exactly what that means. And I know one thing, we all fall down. I call it, as we know, Humpty Dumpty. We all fall down. We got to get back up again. My journey, pretty simple. I got to give you little pieces, some highlights. Now, don't be offended when I'm direct or I'm going to show you things I obtain. It's not to brag, it's to make sure you understand I'm not full of doo-doo. See, I was the second largest advertiser in Los Angeles for 32 years. I haven't had a paycheck for 20 years. I don't need one. Okay, so the bottom line is to help people and get their goal and dream too. But then in 2009, I found myself in a coma. So your journey has just begun with me, if you allow me to. What I like to do is repackage your life and get you on track the right way. So first thing I got to do is this. I think I got to get you past go. What's past go to me is getting you unstuck, giving you other ways to do things and not hurt your family at the same time. I believe everybody's got a goal or a dream. So let's tell you a little bit about me. When I was 3 years old, Mrs. Hope, she got her weekly and monthly checks, but she dropped me off at Redondo Beach Pier. Every morning, literally at 6:30 in the morning, I'm dropped off at the pier, picked up at 5 o'clock. She started at 3 till I was 9.5. By the way, I called her the she-devil from hell. I mean, who does that to a little baby? But she did. I got to learn to steal and beg. And all I can do is tell you that sucked. Now, the thing about this is my journey made me who I am today. It's the same thing about you. You see, when I got dropped off at the pier, all right, I got to see Marina Del Rey, Torrance Rocks, Palos Verdes. I saw money. So I started to read everything I could. I wanted to pick it up. I wanted to study rich and famous people. I got to figure out how to get out of hell. And so what I did, I'm going to show you a couple things as well. Now, I had the Lamborghini collection. You got to have that too. The Duffys, all right, the mansions, okay. Actually building and beating world records too. I've done that too. So the goal is this. All right, we got a choice. It's like the race boats or the yachts or the helicopters. I've had all the goodies, okay? There's not anything I don't want, I already don't have. If I want something else, I can just go get it. I need you to get there too. I want to get you above all the blah, blah, blah. So you literally are on top of your goal, on top of your dream. I want you to run your race. That's what I want you to do, okay? It's kind of fun. but we're going to use what I call Ray's rules. Okay, I need you to get that pen and tablet and write it down. All right, you see, I was lucky, and as I was used and abused as a child, God gave me an IQ off the chart with total recall on most things. So I connected the dots as I started to read and study. And what I want you to do is the same thing. Now, in 1977, I wrote Winning the Game of Business. Now, what I had to do for me is I didn't like to be stressed out. And even though I had to move 24 times by the time I was 11 and a half years old, all right, that's a lot of blah, blah, blah. But here's the problem. Most of the grown-ups were actually stressed out on the 1st and the 15th. It was rent or the mortgage was due. So I didn't want to be stressed out. All right, kind of like some of you today. So I'd like you to do something for me. Okay, try to take this and use it as a game. All right, if you play a game, what do you try to do? You try to win. Everybody reads the instructions. They know the rules. They play the game and want to win. So that's why I named it Winning the Game of Business 43 years ago. All right, I just wanted to play a game and see if it worked. I was a little kid. What can I say? So Ray's rules and tools not to bring the pain home makes sense to me. I'm hoping after the end of the overview today, it'll make sense to you too. You see, all I need from you is 90 days. Honestly, if you give me 90 days, I can have you on your $1 million dream. I can guarantee it. I can put it in writing as well. Seminar, workshops, and boot camps. I don't pass the buck. You're stuck with me. All right? And we're always going to talk about Ray's rules. If you stick to the rules and the tools and the discipline, anybody can see it, believe, and go get it. And what I don't want to do is bring the pain home. All right? I didn't get the mommy and the daddy and all that good stuff that most people did. So the reality is I don't want them to bring the pain home to their life as well. Now, most people, if not all people, heard of Helping Hand Industries. It went worldwide. I don't know if you know, it was started by a 9.5-year-old kid. It was me. So when I did Helping Hand Industries, I was 9.5 years old. Then I got credit cards in the mail. And that mean family took them away from me, and I had to suspend the corporation and reactivate it years later. You see, I brought in that 100,000 at 9.5, then $1 million at 14, $1 billion at 24, double billion, all right, literally at 26. I'm doing pretty good. What do you think? So if you use the rules and tools, you can do the same thing I did. Okay, you just got to learn how to play the game and know what the rules and tools actually are. So let's think about something today. You know, frustration, we all get frustrated. We literally do. All right, because we all have that at times. Wondering what's next. Well, we must, have our faith and persistence that today, all right, it will be our past, knowing that basically it will not last. What I like you to do is like I try to do every day. Do your best, knowing that God does the rest. Amen to that. You see, what happens in most time with most of you, you lose your job and income, you have an emergency. And what happens is you need some help. And what happens is you run out of time, you run out of money, and you jack up your credit. Sorry, that's truth. It happens in 42 days. The bottom line is I want you to think about something. On your piece of paper, write with your pen, you're going to get up starting tomorrow at 4:30 in the morning from now on. Because there's a lot of work to be done. The next thing is I want you to get to know me. All right, literally. I want you to know me, and I want to build a relationship with you. I've been doing this for 43 years. I used the one who was training Ken Yarborough, all right, for TRW and Spearing years ago. So let's understand. I want you to Google the Credit Services Act. See, I need to show you that credit repair, it's actually a scam. All they're doing is writing silly letters, and they're not even allowed to collect money up front. Probably a couple of you doing that too. It doesn't work. You need to rebuild your credit the right way and understand rules and tools, because you can win if you want to. It'll also take you to the Federal Trade Commission. It'll tell you about the Credit Repair Organization Act, that attorneys can't do credit repair either. So what are you really supposed to do? I'd like you to build a relationship with me. I'd like to get you your dreams. All right, I've been doing this for 43 years helping people. So today I'm going to give you rules and tools, but I want you to get to my workshop with me too. So the goal is very simple. Every time we turn around, there's always something going wrong. If you allow me to today, I'd like to repackage your life, your house, your car, and your bank account. Sorry, I think you're doing most of the things wrong anyway. If you allow me to redo it for you, I can get you to $1 million. Maybe some of you get to $1 billion too. It's up to you. You see, credit saved my life as a kid. That's how I got off the pier. The next thing is I found myself in a coma in 2009. And that kind of sucked. Reality is it's up to you to listen today, and I hope you are. You see, everybody talks about money for a rainy day. You need safety credit. Write it down, please. You need reality, because when you have a problem, you need cash. You need money now. So let's understand something today. Let's say today you needed $5,000 right away. You ask your friends, your family, they say no. You ask the bank, they say no too. If you understood that this credit card here could be like this one here, $5,000, and now you can play catch up, not fall down, you can solve your problem if you're prepared with the discipline and basically knowing safety credit. By the way, if you had to max it out today, the payment's only $50 a month. The average person wastes that every other day. So you got the ability if you listen to the rules and the tools. Now, they do say that most people waste $140 a week. I don't know if that's you. All I know is one thing. These are $50,000 credit cards. So if I max one out, the payment is $612.26. So I want to use the rules and the tools and the logic that we all have, because if we're wasting $600 and we had to buy time, why wouldn't you have a safety credit card? You see, you can get 2 pizzas or started a business. I'd like you to quit wasting money and get more discipline for you. Again, we got to not bring the pain home. So as we do this, we're going to have some fun, but we remember what I said in the beginning today. I want you to plan on the problems. I'm sorry, they're going to happen. They just are. You're going to have 10 problems today. You can't give up. You just got to follow through. But again, if we plan on it and we have safety credit, the line of defense, I believe I can help you get to basically to the point you see it, believe, and go get it, just like me. There's no difference between you and me. I just know the rules and the tools. I don't want you bringing the pain home anymore. So let's understand something. You all have a Social Security card. You got one when you were a teenager like I did, because we were told to go get an SSN to get a job. So we did what we were told. We follow like sheep, and now what happens if it gets messed up? We're the duck. Here's the problem today. Okay? All right? An SSN, you have to understand why you have one. First of all, our government bonds us each. We are the collateral for the United States of America Incorporated, by the way. And the reason they push for the consensus is so they know how much money to print. Ever since Nixon took the gold standard out, they haven't stopped their printing press 24/7. Even bought more presses, by the way. So on a piece of paper today, please write down Ray's rules. I'd like you to have basically $100,000 of credit. If you allow me to, I'll get you this. But remember, you can't write off personal credit or interest rate at all. But the one thing is, if you use 29%, like I'm going to teach you and preach to you, hopefully you'll listen to me, that you'll always have $71,000 of safety. See, safety credit is important because what happens when there's a pandemic or you got to buy time, you can play catch up, not fall down. So what I like to do is make sure you understand, I don't want you taking money or credit from your family anymore. That just hurts the family and brings the pain home. I don't want you to bring the pain home anymore. It's easy to say, but I'm going to give you the rules, the tools, the discipline, and how to do this exactly, so you don't have to ever do that again. I want you to write down Ray's rules. I want it in your brain so much that you remember Ray's rules and never bring the pain home, because you don't have to. You see, when I was a kid at 5.5 years old, I was in a coma. I went down the big hill and hit my face with the curb. Reality is they told me I'd never walk again. I always get back up. By the way, in 2009, that's me in the hospital waiting to die in a coma. All right, all I can tell you is it sucked. Swine flu and pneumonia, they couldn't make up their mind. They call it Pandemic 9, COVID-9. The bottom line is they end up calling it H1N1. Now, here's the truth. I parked my yachts and my race boats in my backyard. I basically, again, was the second largest advertiser in Los Angeles for 32 years before the coma. The reality is I find myself in a coma, literally waiting to die. My life got destroyed. All right, that's on the 5th. We took him out on the 4th. We got basically gas on the 3rd. So guess what we needed to do? Well, me, all right, if I get to wake up, I'm going to fight waking up, fighting, and running as fast as I can. I've done that all my life. You see, here's the thing. I got out of the coma, but then I had to use an oxygen tank for 5 weeks. I dragged that tank around with me. I put my score back to an 820, and I popped another $1 million of credit. I couldn't stay down because my bills needed to be paid and my family needed to eat. Okay, that's the bottom line. So if you listen to me today, I'm going to show you a way never to bring the pain home. Now today you don't get a do-over. You get to live or die. Because what? COVID-19 is here now. It's readjusting the world, but let's readjust with it. So, if I could have wore a bubble or a mask on my face before I was in that coma, waiting to die, believe me, I would have done that. So today, please think about wearing a mask today. Let's see if we can help and save other people around us. You see, it takes a moment to die and a lifetime to live. We have the ability to do this, but we have to listen, learn, and get the discipline we're missing today. I'll get you a mask, a t-shirt, or a cap, at least one of them. So let's understand about me. I'm never comfortable. I've never been comfortable a day in my life. All right, having these thoughts, and I can take the visions from when I was a kid. All right, I always remember the peer. But what I do with energy, and when I get pissed off, I keep it internally. Then I find solutions. So I want you to think about something today. Don't be comfortable. Comfortable people never go get it. So let's do something. I've done this since I was 2.5 years old. Could you please try it once? See, today when I dropped to my knees at 2:25, I said, thank you, Jesus, for another day. The next thing is I go find a mirror. I always look in a mirror and I want to stop time. All right? I want to make sure I'm responsible for me and I step up to the plate. So I don't want you to comb your teeth or comb your hair. I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. All right? Have you done everything you need to? The answer is no. So quit sleeping in. All right, is there more to be done? Always. The problem with most people in the last 43 years at seminars, workshops, boot camps, all right, they keep telling me how they tell their friends and family their idea. I believe if God gave you an idea and a dream, you shouldn't be telling anybody. You should just go get it. The reality is you cloud your direction. What you might want to do for the next 90 days is, shh, don't tell anybody what you're going to do. I'll hand you the fish. I'll teach you to fish. In other words, I'll build it for you. So then I don't have excuses, and neither will you. Then when they ask you how you did it, all you have to do is say you raisedwebinar.com. So this is going to be up to you. One of the things about me is I love chasing the money and chasing the dream. Now, I love money. It's one of the top 10 things I love the best in my life. Why? I don't have to steal or beg. I can feed my family and pay the bills. I can help people like you. That's the ultimate goal, is to help as many people as we can. And the main thing is money solves a lot of those problems. This time you're going to have to follow through, because you're going to go back to the job you hate. Eventually they're going to fire you anyway. The bottom line is we're getting older, slower. We're not as poor as we used to be. Maybe you want to drive that Uber and deliver pizza. That's up to you. That's not what I want to do. You see, you got the ability to listen right now. It's like when I was at Mrs. Hope's, every Wednesday night they had a poker game. I listened to the poker game. Sometimes they said things and I wrote my little notes in the corner. Now, when I basically wrote the note this time, they said a corporation's a legal person. I wrote it and I circled it 10 times. I couldn't sleep all night. See, I heard my way out of hell if I could figure it out. Next day, I went to the library next to the Torrance Police Department. I asked the lady, how do I look it up? She says, here's a microfiche, here's a book. I read the book. All I was looking for me was a book, a blueprint, all right, instruction manual. I wanted to get out of hell. I wanted to be on my own because I needed to get out of there. So I read book after book. By the way, I got really pissed off. But I took it internally. I knew I had to find a solution. And the bottom line is it didn't exist now. It doesn't exist then. I mean, it's not hard to understand. You're going to hear things today you've never heard before. The only difference is, thank God he only made one of me. Let's see if I can help you. You see, the Millionaire's Founders Kit is 12 books and CDs. There's 1,000 rules how to play that game up to $1 million. From here, you got the financial series too. You see, having $841 million of real estate before the coma didn't solve me from going in a coma. The bottom line is, I like the financial series too. So don't forget, all right, I created what's called Winning the Game of Business 43 years ago. Let's play the game, but let's play to win. Is that okay with you? I'd like you to have raised rules and never bring the pain home ever again. But again, I got to get you to listen and learn, and got to get you some tools and rules. All right, you read the directions. It's step by step, 1 to goal. It'll actually give you the end to the goal. Okay, I want you to put your life together. I want you to have the instruction manual. I want you in my workshops every week with me as much as I can get you to go. But the books and CDs, you get to hear me 24/7. It can help you master the rules and the tools and get to the discipline you're missing today. Millionaires Founders Kit. Rules, tools, never bring the pain home. But again, first I got to say thank you, Jesus, for giving me the brain and the IQ. The reality is, here it is. There's 1,000 rules on those books and CDs. It's pretty simple. It's called the Millionaires Founders Kit. I even created the financial series and also real estate too. I invented a homestead blocker in commercial real estate, apartment complexes, UCC one, and a chattel mortgage. Now the financial series teaches you how to be the bank, buckets of money and tax balancing. So here's what happens. At the office, they sell for $9.99. That's good. Years ago, I sold it for $20,000 when I was at the Bonaventure for over 30 years. And the Marriott in Long Beach, too. So here's what I do to get you the rules and tools. If you just want the books and CDs and not me, the reality is today I'm going to give it to you for $4.99. That's all it's going to cost you. Give you a mask, a t-shirt, or a hat. You get that too. What we do, because COVID-19, is we take Zelle wire deposit. I want you stuck with me. Okay, I used to do all the workshops, seminars, and boot camps live with you next to me. The difference is, as we know, the world has changed a little bit here and there. So here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to let me rebuild your life, rebuild your credit the right way. I want to get you in my Rapid Read program that pushes you to 820. A credit line, corporation, books, CDs, and classes. I want you stuck with me. Now, I need you to write down right now 25 to 29%, please. Every card you get personally, you'll always make it 25 to 29%. That way, A, you can get more, and then you don't jack up the credit, you don't drop your score. But I need you to be a qualified CFO. See, that's what I got to get you to do using Ray's rules and tools, and it makes you don't bring the pain home. We got to get to the line of defense, too. Getting you an 820 is pretty easy for me. So the reality is it's going to be up to you. Now, I talk to people all the time. They say they're doing a credit repair, this or that. Sorry. It's like LifeLock. Sorry. I mean, the bottom line is they've been indicted so many times. All right? You got to know the truth. The last one was $100 million. So today, let's get to the truth. Let's see what I can do to help you. There's 4 points of income with me. First, I love real estate, so we can have fun there too. But if we get a house to fix it up, I always call it a flippity-dippity-do. Maybe a duplex, a fourplex, or apartment complex. It's kind of fun to do that. Now, since the world's readjusting, I don't know what you've done now or in the past, why don't we get you a franchise? How about we get you McDonald's, a Taco Bell, and a Wendy's when they got the beef? Why don't we do some profit sharing too and mix some money together? How about we do this, leverage money? We can leverage money and credit 84 ways, turn these into 99 more. Because that's corporate credit, we get to write it off. I created the 84 ways to play the game. I used to be known as the Incorporator for rich and famous people too. So I'll give you 3 or 4 of those at the workshop with me. I want you to master the rules and the tools. I want you to get to the discipline for you. So even rich people, doesn't matter who you name, they don't get a paycheck because they don't want one. Why would they need a paycheck? All right, now it's like the ones in California for Prop 22. It seems to be a corporation with a tax ID solves their problem. Okay, because in California you have 12 points of labor. The reality is independent contractor doesn't exist. Now here's a Lamborghini. I want you to think about something right now. You look at rich and famous people wherever you see them, or they drive in a company car, it's pretty nice, huh? They're riding it off, but not you. You see, you got a choice, pay tax or buy a Lamborghini. I'm going to show you exactly what that means. See, right now you get a paycheck, but you get the leftover. It's already been taxed. Now you pay for your bills, you pay for a car you should not, and then, sorry, you take money and credit from the family and you roll the dice, and that tends to bring the pain home. Can you write down tax ID and fleet price? I like to show you step by step how to get that car at a tax ID and a fleet price, using Ray's rules and tools at the workshop with me. See, today, you're probably using your paycheck to pay the payment, the gas, registration, insurance. Can you yell the word no from now on? Can you allow me to help you get a company car under a tax ID at fleet price, please? I want you to do it a different way. A lot of people complain about rich and famous people not paying enough tax. All I want you to do is to join them. I don't want you bringing the pain home anymore. There's no reason to do that at all. So remember, there's a science behind all the madness. You got that tablet and pen? We got to write some things down. First of all, you got one SSN. That means you're the duck. Then it goes wrong. All right? And that's not very fair. I'd like you to pull out your Social Security card. Ladies, it's usually in your purse next to your feet. Gentlemen, it's probably in your back pocket too. If you haven't read the card, let's read it today. It says, do not laminate, don't use for variety purposes. It tells you it's not even your card. Once again, that's how they print money, because an SSN equals a 1040. All right, I'll show you what that means too. So the rules, Ray's Rules and Tools, I got one SSN. The Federal Trade Commission says 97% are screwed up. Maybe a couple of you. We could actually give them an alternative to make sure they don't hurt their family anymore. All right, that's kind of fun. Let's learn how to do that too. So let's do this. You ready to write it down? SS4 times 4. Can you do that for me, please? You see, an SS4, here's the problem. All right, an SS4 is a tax ID. And we try to build a credit report to that. Usually you can't do it at all. You need an affiliate like me. I'm allowed to build credit reports for you. Corporation, we don't name it after you because that's called dumb. We don't name it what it does. That'd be a double dum-dum. Now I need you to write down and set up the line of defense the way I designed it in 1986. A division for real estate, franchise, current business. You see, here's what I'm allowed to do for you. If you allow me to, I can get you up to the $100,000 card or the $1 million card. Which one would you like? You see, when it comes to a corporation, they get to write off the card interest rate and all the depreciation value too. They get to do all this. But you, because you don't know the rules and tools yet, as we're going to begin today, all right, you've been bringing the pain home because you didn't know. Remember earlier I said, let me get you $100,000 of credit. Remember, you can't write off personal cards or interest rate at all. But you got to have it in safety credit for basic if it goes wrong. And on top of that, you have to have safety credit to maintain a credit score. So you can go get more like a house and a car. Never hurt your family anymore. Never bring the pain home. Ray's Rules and Tools are pretty simple. You got an SSN or an SS4. You don't have to be the duck anymore. All you got to do is play with me, give you the rules and the tools, get you to the workshop, I'll do the work for you, hand you the fish, teach you how to fish too. Once you get it here, nobody can take it away. No matter what happens when you fall down again, you get back up right away. You see, I don't want you bringing the pain home ever again. So let's look at this. Here's an SSN, your Social Security that you got as a teenager to get a job, equals a 1040. That way they can print more money. You hardly no write-offs at all, maybe one or two if you're lucky. The SS4 equals an 1120. They tend to have no liability much at all, and they get to write off everything they get to do. It's about time you learn you can incorporate just like everybody else. But you got to still know the rules and the tools. Right now, the Federal Trade says 96% of all corporations that get set up don't do a darn thing. They don't know what's next. No one's teaching them the rules and the tools like I've been teaching for 43 years. So let's think about this. If you have an SS4, I can get you an Aspirion, an Equifax, and a TransUnion. Why would I want you to hurt your family? No. We use this instead. We got the ability to use rules and tools and never bring the pain home, so we got to make sure we understand how to play the game. So let's remember something today. If you're watching me on Google, Facebook, or YouTube, that's kind of fun too, but you're missing the PowerPoint in front of me, the full overview. You might just think about going to rayswebinar.com to get the full overview with me. I don't want you bringing the pain home. That's my mission for everybody. Now, what I heard at 7.5 years old is this right in front of you. It says a corporation's a legal person. Then I found out at the library, it may sue or be sued. That's all it said. What about the rules and the tools? How to play the game? You see, I'm not here to give legal advice, but that's chapter 18. As long as we can read, we can understand. A corporation's what again? A legal person. So let's understand something called the United States of America Incorporated. They set up their line of defense because every state is a corporation too. The states signed up there and set up their line of defense too. Every city's a corporation. Unfortunately, if you're not, you need to know how to play the game. So they've got their line of defense, but what about you? Have you set up your line of defense yet? You see, let's remember something. It's called We the People. This is your constitutional right. The Supreme Court says so, that you are we the people. It's about time you step up to the plate and start to win and play the game. Because business has to be a game to have fun with it. Now let's remember something about Nixon. He took the gold standard out. Ever since he did that, they got the key to the printing press. They haven't stopped printing money 24/7. That's why they're fighting about the consensus right now. They don't know how much money to print. You see, here's the thing. You and I got our Social Security card when we were a teenager to get the job, but Mom had delivered a baby this morning. To keep printing more money since Nixon took the gold standard out, Mom is going to sign the SSN form within 3 hours or less for the baby. That's right, the baby's got to get a Social Security card. The baby can't even crawl and walk. But Mama can't take the baby in the stroller or the car seat and can't go home. So the rules and the tools, you just follow along. Now you know why you got an SSN. The ability for you is pretty simple. Did you write the SS 4x4 yet? Because if you have a corporation, when you do, from me, tax ID, line of defense, every division will have a tax ID too. You see, we get more chances to try. As long as we're trying, we're not dying. If we're not trying, we must just give it up. It's pretty simple to understand something. I want you to stop bringing the pain where? Home. Give you rules, tool of the day, get you to the workshop with me. I do the work for you, hand you the fish, teach you to fish, and no one can take it away. I like that today. It's called Ray's Rules and Tools. You just got to learn how to play the game and not bring the pain home. Stop being the duck, please. You see, your SSN, Social Security card, that's safety credit for your family. Corporation gets credit, then we have a line of defense. Every division gets credit too. We want to make sure we manage it correctly. You see, you watch people file bankrupt and stay rich and famous too. It's your turn now. Learning Ray's rules and tools and how to play the game and never bring the pain home. So let's look at this one more time. Stop bringing the pain home. I mean, let's understand something. Mr. Trump bankrupted 4 corporations in the past. He didn't bring the pain home like you. The reality is, rich and famous people file bankruptcy every day. They stay rich and famous, but not you. What happens next? We look at like Wells Fargo Bank. They were set up in 1852. They stole identity. They did mine twice. They got to take a $3 billion fine. They wrote it off. And then they shut down over 450 locations. They got away with it. Bottom line is, you've watched cities file bankruptcy too in the past. How can a city file bankruptcy? Because it's a corporation. You've got to understand to play the same game. That's how you get to win, if you play by the rules and the tools that are basically out there for all of us. Never bringing the pain home. Now let's talk about credit cards that start credit scores. The credit score is great. It gets you a house and a car. House and a car doesn't do anything for you besides look pretty unless you mess them up. So the rule is, don't mess them up. Knowing the rules in the game, remember what I said, 29%. Write it down, please. You take a card past 29%, you drop your score. Sorry, that's on you. The ultimate thing is to help you as much as I can. I can guarantee to get you all to $1 million dream. That's easy. Maybe a couple of you get to $1 billion too. All you got to do is follow through. You see, what I like to do with all of you is I need to make you a qualified CFO. I want to rebuild your credit my way. I want to get you a 720. The fee for that is $4.99. The rapid refresh pushes you to an 820. I like to do that as well. It's $4.99. Together, those are $9.98. The difference is the sales team sells it for that. I try to give it away as best I can. The first thing I always do with everybody, anything you do with me, I'm going to give you 1 times of credit back to you. I like to take away excuses and make sure you get to win every time. So giving you a $1,000 credit card is pretty easy. The difference is I also want to put you in my credit class on Saturdays at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, so you can learn how to play the game and you don't mess it up anymore. Me, I give it away for $499. That's the whole package. That's all it takes. $499, you're going to get an 820, a $1,000 credit card, credit educational class up to 3 months. That's twice as much you invested to yourself back to you. The bottom line is to get you the rules and the tools and the discipline, get you an 820 credit score like I do every day for people all the time. So you got the ability to listen. I hope and pray you let me do what I do best. You see, the program for credit rebuilding is 90 days or less. It doesn't matter if you got a mess. You got 877-519-7509. All you got to do is call that number and tell them you just watched me in an overview. And they'll make sure you're basically part of the classes with me. So again, we Zelle wire deposit. That's how we get paid here. It's pretty simple. Now, remember something. I broadcast up to 3 times a day, Monday through Friday, and all day Saturday. Seminars, workshops, boot camps. I don't pass the buck. By the way, you're stuck with me. I don't like pre-recorded crap, sorry to say. So I want you to understand something. You're not going to get stuck because you're stuck with me. So I got specialty classes too. So there's 6 classes that go in rotation as well. They always start at 7 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time. You see, you might want to specialize in nonprofit. All right, you might want to specialize in stock, knowing how to use that too. How about real estate, getting millions of dollars? Tax balancing, leveraging money, more ways to play, and goal setting too. So you could play with me in other classes. By the way, I do up to 9 classes on every Saturday, have for the last 43 years. So the bottom line is you're stuck with me, and I'll follow through. All I need you to do is show up, and I'll do the work for you anyway. So here's a client who kind of made me mad that day. I said, what's wrong with you? You jacked up your credit cards. You crashed the Rapid twice. You lost 33 more points. I thought you said you want to get this done. So I kind of put him on check. I said, get back to the workshop so we can begin again. One of the things about me is I have a 100% success rate because I'll follow through. The only time it would take longer is because of you. And I don't want you to do that at all. So I told this gentleman here, you take $726, you pay him back down to 29%. I'll do a rapid refresh and it'll pop you up to $100,000 of credit. Exactly what I did. You see, it's not hard to do something when you know how to play the game. We ought to all win. It's about time. Now, if you're a non-client and you ever have questions I don't cover through the overview, you can always fax them in and I'll add it to the next overview I do. That way you basically get your answers too. All right, non-customers only, because if you're a client, you're in the workshops anyway, and you're faxing questions or typing them in anyway. Now, if you want to make up to 20% on a given day, you can put people in a webinar with me. You can make a commission for your referrals. Ever since I was that boy, being dropped off at the pier, looking at Marina Del Rey, I try to study every rich and famous people I can. I want to know how they made it. Here's Walt Disney. They filed bankruptcy in the past, kind of like a couple of you. They know how to play the game, so what did they do on $1 billion? They said, we don't want to pay tax. All they had to do is basically write an IOU. They wrote their IOU, paid no tax on $1 billion. All right, I'm just trying to get you to do what? Let me get you the first $1 million. Corporations don't pay tax till they make a profit, by the way. Don't forget the United States of America. They got their line of defense. All right, the states have their own defense called the cities. Now it's your turn to step up to the plate and learn how to win the game too. It's called We the People. It's your constitutional right, by the way. So you can step up to the plate, learn the rules and tools from me, and we can play that game and make sure you don't bring the pain home ever again. So let's talk about your credit one more time. If you have the safety credit of $50,000 or more, hopefully not more, you can't write off the credit cards or the interest rate at all. So why would anybody want to take it from the family in the first place? I'll never know. The way I designed this in 1986 is pretty simple. 8 credit cards per division, 9 lines of credit, 8 supply cards, 10 vendor cards, 10 marketing cards, 6 lease cards. I want to get gas cards or fleet price and cash cards too. You see, corporations write off the credit cards, interest rates, and the depreciation value as well, but you don't get to write it off. See, you don't get a chance to win because you got one SSN. It's not fair to all of us. So knowing the rules and the tools, you get to learn how to play the game. Today, the overview, then get to the workshop with me. I want to make you a qualified CFO. If you allow me to, using the rules and the tools, believe me, you will not bring the pain home anymore. Now, Mr. Buffett, I studied his father first, then him, because people talk about what he does in the stock market. The man owns 100 companies plus. He even owns his favorite 10 companies. So he owns Coca-Cola, Geico, Ketchup. He owns American Express and Duracell, Dairy Queen, See's Candy, British Jewelries, and Fruit of the Loom. See, he's playing the game by the corporation and the subsidiaries and the divisions and the entities too. It's about time you join the rest of the people today. Now, as an affiliate, I'm going to tell you flat out, don't be an authorized user anymore. It actually just gets in the way, and we know what you're going to do. And if a trade line, please don't buy trade lines. All right, the goal is you want cash, right? See, cash is king and queen. A trade line is just history. That makes no sense to me. If you allow me to make you a qualified CFO, I can get you up to $1 million pretty quick. But again, we got to use the rules and the tools. So let's think about this one more time. For every tax ID, I can get you a credit report. Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. It's going to be on a division or a corporation too. You got to learn how to play the game. So let's remember something today. I'm the guy that invented 113 ways to daisy chain credit. Turn these into 99 more. Again, we have to talk about corporate credit. It's the only thing we get to write off at all. So that's why we're going to make sure you know Ray's rules and tools. How to play the game and never bring the pain home. Now, it's pretty simple. If you have the intent to defraud anybody, rip them off, I will definitely testify, get you in a court of law. You're not going to do that on my dime at all. So what do we do? Right now, you have 3 divisions float in front of you in a corporation. Can you write down in the middle of the line of defense, please? You see, a corporation should never do business at all. It should have credit and maintain the divisions. The entities, they're the line of defense. See, those are the ducks, not you anymore. So let's understand something today. Corporations got a tax ID. Every division's got a tax ID. What if something goes wrong with the division? We're going to do the 3-step. We might as well call it the Donald Trump step, the city, the Wells Fargo Bank, rich and famous too. It's the same thing they got to do. Disconnect, isolate, incorporate. Can't save it. We might bankrupt the piece. We're not going to bring the pain home. We're going to keep the other pieces too. Why would we want to have to be the duck anymore when we can learn to play the game with the rules and the tools? Again, this is up to you. If you want to listen to me, I'm going to offer to do the work for you anyway. Now, when you bought your house, sorry to say, you probably did it wrong anyway. I want you to write down Ray's rules, and I want you to remember what I said in the beginning today. I want to repackage your house, your car, and your bank. I want to do it my way. I want to clone me into you. You see, escrow works for you, but you allow them to tell you what to do. It should have been escrow close, escrow homestead, escrow record into a trust. I'm sorry if your house is in your name today. Okay? I really am. If your house is in your name, all right, you don't have a trust set up, all right, that means that somebody sues you and screws you, they just take it away. If you die, it's stuck into probate. So do yourself a favor today, please. Download the form called Trust. It's on Google. It's free. You got to repackage your life and protect your family and you too. Now let's talk about that property. You're going to fix it up. I always have fun because I call it a flippity-dippity-do. You're going to hire the contractor today. The contractor's going to hire the subcontractor that's standing outside Home Depot. That's okay. And what they're going to do, sorry, it's kind of blunt, but you got to understand something. They're going to cut every corner they can, and if they slip and fall, they're going to sue and screw you for everything you got. Sorry. The reality is this. I don't want you to make a mistake anymore. The reason people give up is because they fall down and go boo-hoo-hoo or someone got in their way. If you plan on the problems in the beginning, you protect your assets, and you don't bring the pain home. Every property you ever play with, you're going to quickly deed it to a division of a corporation. You're going to do an assignment of equity too. You're going to understand something today. If they try to sue you, at the end of the day, they get diddly squat. Why not? You got to fight like I've always had to fight to get out of hell. You got the ability to listen and learn and follow through. But it's Ray's rules and never bring the pain home ever again, because you don't have to. You don't have to be the duck. So remember today, if we fix up that property. But every time and every day I find someone say, Ray, I don't want to pay tax. When a person circumvents the IRS and makes a mess, they got to go to irs.gov, download a form called 656 of 433A and B. You see, you can't play the game and be a cheater. You got to play by the rules and the tools that are there. So, because you can't get your COVID-19 check, you're going to have to get your butt back in the system today. All right? You're going to have to master Ray's rules and tools as I do the work for you. That way you can take it over too. The ability to know that they used to nickname me, all right, the other people's money, OPM, that's okay. All right? All they did is make me mad to figure it out some way anyway. So what I want you to do, I want you to have 4 more divisions. Can you write them down, please? A division for carpet, appliances, fixtures, and wood. I like to teach you how to go back to the manufacturer to save up to 70%. And that way you can get a net 60 to 90 days. I don't want you using your own money to fix up the property at all. What I want you to do is pretty simple. I want you to get that net 60, 90, and what happens after you fix up the property and you sell it through escrow, they'll pay off all the bills. You see, here's the thing I've watched people do, probably not you, but you took in $200,000 you just made and act like you're rich. Sorry. All right? What happens when you do that? You kind of piss it away and you're broke again. I bet you every one of you had $10,000 to $100,000 in the past. If you pissed it away, or some of you broke today, the reality is you need how to do leveraging, raise rules and tools, and borrow money is not taxable. Can you write it down, please? You see, the ultimate thing is the line of defense. And what you got to do is understand how to play the game. We're going to talk about leveraging money now. So let's understand the bank. If you make the bank verify itself, they have to say yes. Remember, the bank gets to borrow from the feds times 10 and loan back to times 5 to us. So if you're at my workshop with me, we're going to design the CD, the line of credit, and the bank account too. That's going to give you basically what? 600 reference points. That's $600,000 reference points on a line of credit. By the way, you can get a line of credit for millions of dollars. The main thing is don't forget the banks and the feds. They can actually do it times 5. Times 5, that would be $3 million. You might take $2 million of that and go buy a McDonald's today. Get a Big Mac, a fry, and a chocolate shake. That's all you got to do. Every one of you can do this. It's not hard to when you know how to. So let's think. Today, it doesn't matter how you start. You just have to start with something. Make a commitment to yourself and your family. It doesn't matter if we start with $1,000 or $20,000, $25,000 too. I'm going to show you how to stay and play the same game. CD, bank account, all right, checkbook too. You see, that $1,000 just became $15,000 of reference points, then $50,000, $100,000 to $1 million. The 25 became $375 overnight. From there, $1 million faster. See, today, since the world's changing, maybe you want a couple pizzas today. Maybe you want a McDonald's, a Wendy's, or a Taco Bell. You got to change your life to basically do what? Feed the family. So let's go through what we got to do. The world's kind of changing today. Me, it's like anything else. When I got my Rolex years ago, I didn't want to pay for it at all. All I did is I set up a division for jewelry. They wanted $89,000 for the watch. I got it at wholesale price for $39,000. They overnighted the watch to me. I didn't have to pay for it for 30 days. I put a loan on a watch I did not own. And then I paid the invoice when it came in. The leftover maintained the payments on the watch, and I got it for free. The reality is you can do the same thing learning how to play the game. As you do this basically every day. Think, all right? There's so many ways to play the game. There are clients in the past. All of these people. It's kind of fun too. Even Freeway Ricky Ross as well. Even Biola University, all right, professors too. I want you to beat your own doubt. Every one of you could play with me for 90 days. I get you on the roadmap to the blueprint of the $1 million dream. The only thing that's going to be in your way today would be you. You're going to have to run your own race. All right? Don't let anybody influence you. Run your race. Because it's millions to billions. See it, believe it, go get it. That's all you're going to have to do. Now, the business opportunity, you can create your own. Corporation under CU91D can loan money 8 different ways. What if we took this $100,000 card and took $50,000 off the card? The payment is $6, $12, $26. Okay, let's help 5 people save their house $10,000 apiece. We put a second trust deed on their house. We put a homestead blocker and a UCC one-chattel mortgage. Then we call that company, it's my money, I want it now. They actually factor in 12 hours or less. What I did with that $50,000, that's $6, $12, $26, it's not even my money, it's just on a credit card. I leveraged it to create $2,449 positive cash flow per month. Cash flow free of your time. $100,000 is $4,800. $150,000 is $4,347. You could design how to free up your time today. Learning, raise rules and tools, and you don't have to bring the pain home ever again. It's like cars. My favorite car is a Lamborghini. So guess what? I want to get you one under a tax ID and a fleet price, whatever car you want. Just let me know, and I'll show you exactly how to do it at the workshop with me. You got the ability. Now, sorry, please, please. I get 9 out of 10 say, Ray, I like the way you explain it. One always says, Ray, you're bragging or blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I take it personally. It just bothers me to no end. But if I don't show you the story of the dream, how are you going to know I'm not full of you know what? So showing you the mansions, the yachts, the race boats, the Lamborghinis, Ferraris, helicopters too, I got to get you past go. That's what you're going to have to do. You got the ability to do this too. It's not hard to when I teach you how to. Like I said earlier today, if you're a non-customer and I don't cover it through the overview, fax it over. I'll do it in the next webinar with you. God's gift. Having the mansion was nice. Parking the race boat and the yacht in the backyard was even nicer. That's where I parked it before the coma. And what did I do? I liked the corporate helicopters, the Lamborghinis, even the buildings too. I don't know. Why wouldn't you? Here's what I want you to do today. Okay? I want you to change your driver's license to a P.O. box or a mailing address. All right? Write down. There's 2 more rules to play the game. By the way, there's 20,000 rules you're going to master by the time I'm done with you anyway. Every time you write a check or use a debit card, you whip out your driver's license and say, here's where I live. Come rob my house. Come sue me, screw me, take it away. I don't want you to do that anymore. I want your driver's license using Ray's rules and tools, a P.O. box or a mailing address. Depends on the state what they allow you to do. California, after the Schaefer bill, it's called the Driver's Privacy Protection Act. You got to step up to the plate and protect you and your family. Because there's why? There's always somebody trying to take it away. Today, how did you buy a car the last time? You let somebody sweat you for hours on end? You lost 5,000 plus and up to 9 inquiries too? If you're going to do it your way, when they hand you the piece of paper at least, all right, next when you sign it, say it allows 1 inquiry only, then take a picture, please. That's all you got to do. What I want you to understand something today, if you allow me to at the workshop with you, I'm going to show you step by step how to get it at fleet price under the corporation and basically tax ID. But that's going to be on you. The ability to have the dream car and write it all off. Everybody around you, you see, they're rich and famous people, they do. So let's think today if you go to the bank or the grocery store. What happens if you bump somebody's car, a little bumpity bump? Sorry, the first thing they want is your driver's license, insurance, and registration, please. Well, let's see, you have your driver's license. Does it have the home address on it? The insurance, you probably been paying for that out of your taxable income called a paycheck. Could have been the corporation instead. The register owner, sorry, it's you. All right, sorry, these people are going to take and they're going to call one of those, sorry, I say bloodsucker attorneys on TV. They're going to sue you, screw you, and take everything you got. The reality is you need to listen to me, please. I want to make sure you don't bring the pain home. And like I said earlier today, I want you to make sure you plan on the problems because they're going to come your way anyway. What if you listened to me and the register owner was a division of a corporation, the lien holder was a corporation too? Then at the end of the day, they could not sue you. They would get diddly squat. Once again, I'm going to say, why not? The ability to know how to play the game and not bring the pain home. Basically, it's up to you. We've got to master Ray's rules and tools. All right, as we do this. It's like beating your own doubt. Today, we have some problems. The biggest thing, people bring the pain home because they didn't plan on it. I know you watch TV every day. You see those nasty attorneys in between the news and the different programs you watch. All right, if you don't protect your assets, someone's going to take it away. It's just like this report. This man faked fall. He's at the coffee store. And what did he want? He's a nice guy. His wife, Mary, son and daughter, they go to church every Sunday with the grandkids too. But what did he do? He looked around one day. He fell down. Nobody noticed he fell down, so he sat up again. And then he did it again too. See, he wanted his $10 million paycheck. You got to watch what people try to do to you. Never bring the pain home. Now, July 3rd, 2009, I took my yacht from my backyard, right there's the address, and I said fill it up. I used a card, right off the card and the interest rate too, even the yacht. It was $1,600 that day. We took the yacht out on July 4th. Here I am July 5th in a coma. Like I said earlier today, that kind of sucks. But after the coma, I walked around with an oxygen tank. I still put my credit score back to an 820. I popped another $1 million of credit again. I can't stay down because my family needs to eat and bills need to get paid. You can learn the same rules and tools. God's using me to help you if you pay attention today. I don't want you bringing the pain home anymore. The bottom line is I made a promise in that coma I'd help people the rest of my life, just like you. So guess what we get to do today? I named my son and my daughter after me. You see, my legacy will live on, called the Reynolds University. Now, you got a phone number I'd like you to write down. If you ever want to play with me, it's 877-519-7509. The way it works, the salespeople, after about 30 minutes, get to talk to you instead of just saying, hey, I saw a webinar, let me get this or that. So again, I want to talk about a corporation. I want to talk about the corporate setup. They say the average person spends $3,000 for one of those and gets a tax ID, corporation, and a stock kit. You need the rules and the tools. Let me set it up for you for $9.99. Then I want you to go to my workshop for 90 days called Corporate Setup. Level 1, set up the line of defense for you, 90 days 2. It's $9.99 for that as well. The office sells it for $19.98, and that's a great price to do that. Then you're stuck with me. I always want to make sure you manage the rules and the tools and learn how to play the game. I always offer it for $17.99. And that way, when you learn the rules and the tools, I hand you $5,400 of cash credit back to you. My ultimate goal is to take away any excuses you would have and give you 3 times your investment back to you. Do the rapid refresh and the credit building too. Now there's no excuses. All you got to do is win with me, and we get to have some fun learning Ray's rules and tools and never bring the pain home ever again. We take Zelle wire deposit. That's how we get paid here today. They said the Titanic could not sink. Sorry to say, it couldn't even turn. Colonel Sanders didn't get his first $1 million check till he was 71. Thomas Edison never gave up. Bannister was told, you run the 4-minute mile, so you're going to die. He told the world to go to hell. He was going to do it his way anyway. I'm a very disciplined person, more than most people. Here, basically, I hold the record since 1981, highest kick in the world. I was kicking the door jam at 10.5, the basketball hoop as well, which is 10 feet. My ultimate goal is this: I'm very disciplined, and I always achieve my goals. I did by the time I was 26. I accomplished all of that I had. You have the ability to, and I'll hold your hand all the way. The only thing that will be in your way will be you. Not everybody likes me, but not everybody likes you. So what are we supposed to do at the end of the day? They can crucify Jesus Christ. Who are we? You see, your lack of commitment is what's in your way today. Play with me for 90 days, and I'll guarantee you're on your way to the $1 million dream. It's like this. Here's a Lamborghini in a building under tax IDs. Why? Because I look at it this way. Reach in the dream. Think and be the impossible. I've done it all my life. I want you to do the same thing too. You got the ability to listen and learn today. Let's make sure we don't bring the pain home anymore. 90 days, you'll be on your $1 million dream. I do the seminars, workshops, and boot camps too, and you're stuck with me. I don't have an excuse. And I want you to step up to the plate with me and never bring the pain home. Now, if you want that $1 million paycheck still, I want you to raise your hand as high as you can and look in the mirror and call yourself a dummy today. That means you're not listening yet. You see, if you got $1 million paycheck, you keep $375. That's all you get to do. If you got a corporation and you want $1 million coming into the corporation, you pay no tax in the beginning because you got to get to pay your bills first. You pay tax on the leftover. Now you're learning to play the game and use the rules and the tools. Again, as an example, Richard's a nice guy. He won Survivor the first show. He almost died twice on the show. He got his $1 million check. They said, hey, sir, make sure you keep $375. You send the rest to the IRS. He said, hell no. He pissed it away. The mean judge gave him 3.5 years in federal prison. So again, don't bring the pain home. Motivation, I love it. I listen to it all the time. But I'm sorry, if it doesn't give me rules, tools, a blueprint, an instruction manual, to me it's still blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I'll show you some of the goodies, Don't say I'm bragging. I'm just saying I accomplished the goals. So I can get you to accomplish the goals too. Because at the end of the day, you have a story to tell as well. And it's about time you understand your story counts too. So let's understand something today. Get you an 820 credit score, up to $100,000 of safety credit, because you can't write it off, but you'll have it there for the family. Maintain a score. Let's get you the corporation and divisions with me, up to $1 million of credit too. I want you to stop being stuck. And you got to know what's next. It's me. You're going to get stuck with me, all right, for the next 90 days. It's Ray's Rules and Tools. I want to make sure you never bring the pain where? Home ever again. It's millions to billions. See it, believe it, go get it each and every time. You got the ability today to get the overview and listen and learn. Remember what I said in the beginning today? I like to repackage your house, your car, and your bank account. I want to clone me into you. That's what I really want to do. So the ability to not bring the pain home will be up to you now. It's like if all you want is the 18 books and CDs and you want to play on your own, there you go. All right, today instead of $9.99, it's $4.99 for you. And then I'd like you to do all of this. Get the book CDs, listen to me 24/7, get to the workshop so I hold your hand, answer your questions so you don't fall down again, and make sure you never bring the pain home. My dream and my vision is to change the world before I die. And that's what I really like to do. You're going to get a mask, a hat, or a t-shirt, one of these at least. Zelle wire deposit today. Again, like I said, the corporate setup today is pretty simple. $17.99, $5,400 of cash credit back to you, rapid refresh, and a credit building too. Now you're stuck with me for 3 months, and you're going to learn more than you ever thought of in your lifetime before, because God only made one of me. Thank God for that. Zelle wire deposit today. Don't ever forget, at corporations, what again? It's right there in chapter 18. It's a legal person. I heard that at 7.5 years old. That's what got me where I need to be today. My journey is where I am now. So, the United States of America Incorporated, they set up their line of defense too, called the states. The states set up their line of defense too, called cities. It's about time you set up your line of defense and never bring the pain home ever again. That's what I'm going to teach you. Hold your hand, do the work for you anyway. It's called You Are We the People. It's about time you step up to the plate. You know, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution turned corporations into people. I love the United States of America. I really do. All right, they gave me the rules and the tools how to play the game. Why would I not love them? I want to play the game too. All right, the bottom line is, ever since Nixon took the gold standard out, they just keep printing money. They maintain their 50 states. States maintain their cities too. If they can set up their line of defense, so can you. But it's up to you to listen to me. It's Ray's Rules. Never have joint credit again. All right, buy a house, escrow close, escrow homestead, escrow record in a trust. Corporation, we don't name it after you. That'd be dumb. Don't name it what it does. That's double dum-dum. Always have up to $1 million of credit. Have divisions for real estate, new franchise, current business. Maintain and setting up the line of defense. That's how you make sure you don't bring the pain home. It's amazing what you can learn if you just listen and do it right. The main thing, we have the choice. So today, I want you to plan on the problems. Somebody's going to make you mad. Someone's going to stub their toe. Someone's going to say no. But if you basically plan on the problems, bite your tongue and just go through it, you have safety credit, line of defense, see it, believe it, go get it, guess what? You can get there too. You got the ability today, and I pray you listen to me. Now, understand something. If all you want is an 820 credit score, I'll charge you $4.99 through the overview. $1,000 credit back to you, twice as much you invested in yourself. Allow you to go to the workshop at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Saturdays, up to 3 months. Credit education. I don't want you to do this and make a mistake ever again. You got the ability to learn the rules and tools too. But again, that'll be on you. The rebuilding program is 90 days or less. But then you'd have to pick up the phone and call 877-519-7509. Zelle, wire, make a deposit. You have the ability to listen to Ray's Rules. All right, .com is the voice of credit. Then you're stuck with me. Corporation is a legal person because we have the ability. So if you're a legal person, but you feel the pain because you have one SSN, but a corporation's a legal person too, and they have an SS4 times as many fours as they need, I bet you understand why they always win, and you don't get to win at all. This is one I'd like all of you to do. This is my favorite out of all of them. It's millionaires in the making. Step 1, give you all the goodies in one basically setup. Get you in the classes for 90 days, mastering the rules and the tools. Analyze you twice in case I need to have you do one or two things at all. From there, the office sells it for $3,995. It's a good price. Me, I like to give it away for $2,999 because everyone says they spend $3,000 for a corporation. They don't get anything. What if I charge them the $3,000? They get everything and they even get me and $25,000 of cash credit. 8 times their investment back to themselves. I believe that would take away anybody's excuses not to play the game with me. Learning the rules and the tools and the discipline not to bring the pain home. Zelle, wire, or deposit. That's all they got to do. Let's go back to an SSN equals a 1040. What do you got? 1 or 2 write-offs if you can find them at all. An SS4 is an 1120. But a corporation and its entity is going to get an SS4, subsidiaries on and on and on. All right, almost no liability at all, and they get to write off almost everything that they do. You don't have a chance with only one SSN. Don't you get this yet? It wasn't fair in the first place. But you got the ability. I can build you in a Spirit, an Equifax, and a TransUnion too. But again, it'll be up to you if you want to play with me. The American dream is pretty simple. It's receiving money every month, pay all your bills, drive the company car, go on a business trip, help other people, free up your time, master Ray's rules and tools, and make sure you set up the line of defense. Without the line of defense, you will bring the pain back to the corporation and back to you. You've got to do it the way I designed it in 1986. The millionaires in the making. $2,999 today. 8 times back to you in cash credit of $25,000. Now you're going to have me do all the work for you. You'll be at the workshops for 90 days so you can learn the rules and the tools and take it over when I'm done. That way no one can take it away from you. The ultimate goal is you learning the rules and the tools from me. Zelle, wire, make a deposit today. I personally hold your hand at every seminar and every workshop. I never pass the buck. The bottom line is I want to hold your hand, build a relationship, and I want to change your life. I want the world to know Ray's rules. So again, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, not only the status update that I'll give you when you're in the rotation, might ask you to do 1 or 2 things if you can follow through, and the credit educational class too. You see, you got the ability today. It's like my specialty classes. On Saturday, I do up to 8 classes all day. All right, the first class starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. And what I have is these 6 classes are called specialty. See, not everybody wants a nonprofit, but I think they should have one. We go through that, stock kit, real estate, tax balancing, leveraging money, and goal setting. They're every 6 weeks, so we rotate them all the time. That way you can learn the specialties as well. The ability today is to stay safe and strong. No matter what, we're waiting for what's next to come. Let us always remember life is a gift from our Father in heaven. God has given us the opportunity to believe and receive. Let us make the best of the day and give thanks in every way. Thank you, Jesus, for one more day. Amen to that. Ray's rules God gave me to give to you. All we got to do is make sure you master those 2. You got the ability right now to call 877-519-7509. Tell them you just got off a webinar. They have to honor everything I offered to you, and you get to win. Now you're stuck with me. I'm doing the work for you. When you go to the rules and tools and go to the workshops, you get to learn to master those too, so you can take it all over when I'm done. Never forget, at the end of the day, God loves us all.